Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch, the notorious SID, and Chris Stark are with me. I feel like I haven't seen you for a little while, lads.
I've missed you boys.
Yeah, that's been a while, hasn't it? You've been away, I've been away. You've been grafting.
Well, I haven't.
You saw Katy Perry this morning, didn't you? It's not all bad, is it?
No, it's not bad, but that's just my job, isn't it? You know, I work in radio. You two boys living out, you know, the stereotypical footballer life, getting away.
Well, we're still, you know, when it's like off season, we still kind of use that as time to go away, even though I don't play anymore.
I feel a bit of a cheat with you, Sids, actually, because I see you went away, but you were doing the football escapes thing that I see you do. Yeah. But you put up so many videos now because you're getting quite good with Instagram. Like, I found myself getting free coaching from it just by watching. I then went out in the garden with my kids and sort of did what he was doing on his Instagram with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good week. Yeah, the football escapes. You've done it a few times.
Done it a few times. It's great. It's a great week.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd done it actually in Cyprus, Park Lane, Cyprus, which was hot. So we'd done 9 to 11 in the morning and then chilled for the rest of the day. It was good.
But you're like the football body coach, aren't you, in that sense? In that you're doing all these drills and everything like that, and then people like me can sort of copy them at home, whether you realise it or not. I mean, it's almost the kind of thing that would have been amazing in COVID had you been doing all these Instagram coaching vids there, you know? And he's earned millions from that.
Well, like Joe Wicks.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying Steve is officially the new kind of football Joe Wicks?
The football version of it.
Online football coach.
Mate, yeah.
Why not?
There's legs in this.
Yeah. So you went away and did that. You've been away on a sort of family holiday.
Family one, mate. Yeah, just me having the kids. It was really, really nice.
I think we're in this strange position now as a podcast where we're kind of like, I don't know about you boys, I'm really looking forward to the new season starting. And it feels like the Euros is kind of past its time now. We're in a bit of an Olympic thing going on, which sort of scratches an itch to a certain extent.
But I like the randomness of the Olympics personally. Like, I find myself watching things that I would never normally watch. Like, I was watching horses jumping through like what looked like a garden, and then like down through a lake and up through bizarre. Like it was. I've never seen like it. It's called eventing.
Right? Oh right.
Yeah.
So they,
I haven't seen that.
So it feels like they're glossing up the jumps. It used to just be like a couple of bollards and some parts.
Bollards.
Whereas now there's flowers and there's like ribbons that go.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah,
and they've named some of the jumps as well. Saw one because I only realised it. One of the last ones was called Liberté. Just because my little girl's called Liberty, so she noticed it, and I was like, "Yeah, they're naming the jumps as well."
But is this within an arena? Is this?
No, I think it was. Don't quote me on this because I'd had a few beverages as well, but I was kind of half watching it and half talking. But I'm sure it was something to do with Versailles, something to do with like the palace.
Oh, the building was palace. Is that Palace
right?
of Versailles?
Palace
Sounds
of
about
Versailles?
right. But very
where they
grand.
signed the treaty. Is that correct?
Well, that would be the Treaty of Versailles.
So anyway, there was a huge palace there and amazing grounds and a lot of horse jumping.
Yeah.
But really, I actually found it really, really interesting.
Any sports caught your eye?
I watched some of the swimming last night. And did you see the chap that dived into the pool to collect the...
Oh, he's brilliant. Is that his job? By the way, the swimming hat.
Yeah, did you see what he was wearing? His trunks.
He had these naughty little sort of leery trunks on.
I have seen this, yeah. So what's his job? What does he do?
He collects shit off the bottom of the pool. There was,
but in front of a full crowd of people. No, it's a swimming hat.
Was there?
Yeah, but his only job seems to be that, I mean, I assume it's not his only job, but he has to come out in his little trunks.
The strut was great, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah,
full crowd and dive in. Like, he doesn't even just go pencil. He goes, like, launches himself off like a proper diver.
It was good. It was good. It was great. So I see a bit of that, and then I see... Do you know what I see actually as well? I watched archery. I see archery, and... it was decided with a magnifying glass whether it got it a 9 or a 10. A man come out with a magnifying glass and give it the thumbs up.
Wow.
It was like, yeah, you've won.
Few things to discuss on those sports. So the swimming, the bit that got me was their entrances. So when they come out, but they're really quite moody geezers, aren't they? But they're wearing goggles as they come out, and I don't know about you, but I think it's quite hard to look sort of like hard and tough when you're wearing your little goggles at the same time.
Totally agree.
Big headphones and goggles.
Come out like Snoop and that, like, don't they? It just feels like the motherfucking DRE. You know what I mean? They've got the little goggles on Speedo. It's never been done before.
Why are they so moody? Like, a couple of the countries, they're coming out like, and obviously they're like boxers sort of dressing gowns and that, but we all know they've got the little trunks on underneath. And
is that for every? Because I only see the final last night, so they do that for every round.
Yeah, every round. It's not just the final. They do that, is it? They all come out. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just came straight into the. No, it's definitely the heats, because I saw the heats.
Oh right, so they walk out like to the heats.
Yeah, they walk out to the heats. Yeah. They bring the heat.
It's just very bizarre to see. The other one is with the diving. There's a couple of things to talk about there. So one of the things I really noticed with the diving is the commentary with it. You watch the people dive, and in real time, the commentators are like, "Oh no, they fucked it." I'm like, that looked the same as the one before. It's such a weird sport to spectacle.
They're saying that mid dive,
but I mean in slow mo.
They're actually saying, "Oh no, he's fucked it." He's fucked it. Oh no.
I mean, he's gone. He's blown it. He's blown it.
But in slow mo, you see this for the synchronized ones. You see like one arse just go up above the other, and you know they're like. Even as someone who doesn't understand the sport, I can go like, they're off. But in real time, you're just seeing two bodies just landing.
Yeah. So it looks perfect, but it's
every time, Sids. But the commentators, I understand it's their job, seem to be able to analyse it there. It's like, oh no, their left foot was slightly out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. The naked eye, like just catching that. Do you know Jason Statham was a GB diver?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I did, yeah.
But for a role or real?
No, seriously.
Like diver?
Yeah.
But are you sure this wasn't... Did you see the Formula One recently where Lando Norris is doing a really emotional post-race interview because he's just missed out on winning the Grand Prix, I think it was. Excuse me on this sport. But I think he just missed out, and he's kind of angry and almost upset doing this interview. And in the background walks Brad Pitt in full racing wear and does an interview himself, and they're filming a movie at the same time.
That's so true, yeah.
But with real sad Lando Norris, but Brad Pitt doing his post-match behind him.
No way.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's why I was wondering if it's at Jason Statham.
Oh, no. Seriously, he was.
It's before he was an actor. Do you want to see him diving?
Yes, please. Was he bald?
Here is nice full head of hair. Jason Statham with full head of hair at 1990 Commonwealth Games.
Oh, he's fucked it.
He's fucked it.
I don't know with the diving.
You believe that?
I can't believe that's a thing, but it seems to be real. That looks like AI's made. The other one with the diving is the strange hot tub flex they have afterwards. Or
yes, they'll go and get in the bath after. It's a bit like kind of 1970s football, isn't it?
Well,
they go and do the sport and then get in the bath after.
But the results come in as they're all in with the jets on. So they're all sat around, and it'll be like Steve Sidwell, 8.0, and they're all there like just...
I think there should be someone at the entrance where the stairs go up with like a tray, and they've got like some Coronas or some cocktails, and they just
lie by the pool.
They just pick one up off the tray and they just sit there waiting.
Imagine just all of them lined up, like sitting along like on the porch reading a book or doing it on holiday.
It's like they get in the shower afterwards, which I think we shouldn't be. Why are the cameras there? It's kind of odd.
Yeah. Why are the cameras there in the shower?
Like they're
no
discussing.
other sport they allowed, isn't it?
There's no other sport. The guys are just like. There's always a moment where they're discussing the performance, and I'm watching it going. Is no one going to acknowledge that they're in a shower? Like,
that's a dressing room environment. Why are we in there? Yeah, it does. I don't know.
I got to say though, watching the swimming, it did remind me and bring back memories of the previous pod.
Scubaing and stuff.
Yeah.
I've had so many people. There's actually some stories surfaced about various people being scubaed.
Well, you encouraged it. You basically said, anyone listening to this podcast, if you have your moment in a pool and you're a good enough swimmer, get yourself in the slow lane and not go sort of around the swimmer in front, try and go underneath, flip yourself around in the air and give them 2 fingers.
So
goggles to goggles.
It's Goose to Maverick, isn't it?
It's the Goose and Maverick, isn't it?
But it's such a wild move that, because there's so much that can go wrong. Because if the slow lane swimmer suddenly decides to take off, you're at some point going to need to come for air. And if you're face to face, I guess you're slowly going to meet in the middle, and you'll be lips to lips.
We've had some messages here. This one's from Joey. He said, the scuba happened to me once, except at the end of the swimming lane, the guy went underneath me and did an Olympic-style underwater turn. I quit the gym shortly after. I do think you do have to quit your gym if you do get
you
scuba.
can't show face.
Well, it's just, you can't, can you? Message from Andrew.
But on that, though, if you've got a story where something's forced you to have to quit a sport, something's happened where you've then gone, fuck this, I'm done. Please let us know. peter.crouch@acast.com.
I've been there at golf a few times where I've come off the course and gone, like, fuck this, I'm done.
I reckon there's a load of these stories. There'll be a straw that's broken the camel's back and they've gone like, that's it.
I mean, it's I don't give up, guys. I mean, you can come back from it. Andrew says here, I used to be a lifeguard and I witnessed this happen in the fast lane. The poor top bunk woman, top bunk, he's obviously called it, got out after she finished her length and was fuming at the bloke. So hard to remain professional in the urge to laugh. I asked the guy what he was doing.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good to hear it's actually happening. And obviously, we've encouraged people on this podcast to do it, but I don't know yet if we've had any confirmed sightings of a listener to this podcast scubaing someone in or in turn being scubaed. All
right. Well, let us know. Yeah. But yes, we are a football podcast, and obviously the Euros has just finished. We're in the GOOCH part of the season at the moment. It's a tough one to try and navigate, really. I remember what it was like for me, actually seeing a few footballers on holiday when I've been away. Saw Kevin De Bruyne, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, did you?
In your hotel?
Yeah.
Did you try and scuba him?
No, there wasn't enough. I probably could have scuba him, actually, because that would have been a Galactico scuba, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? I scuba him, came in, he said he's had to retire from swimming.
Imagine
you should have got Abs to film something. You should have gone, I'm going for this. I'm going to go for it.
Imagine you scubaed Kevin De Bruyne, right? And then you're doing your TNT stuff and he sees you in the corner. You'd have him in your pocket for life.
I'd kind of own him, wouldn't I? I'll know and he'll know that I've scubaed him.
It could ruin his season, couldn't it? It's the kind of thing that would play on your mind.
Good, mate. These things play on your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kevin De Bruyne on holiday. It is a weird time, this.
It is strange, isn't it?
And also as a fan of Watford, it's weird getting stressed about, increasingly you're like, who are they going to sign? Where at what point does this sort of kick in? I'm seeing the players in all sorts of different training, they seem to be training in nice warm places. And I think it's a really weird one as a fan to try and get a gauge on what your team's going to actually be like, especially when you're losing so many pre-season friendlies. What importance should you put on those kind of games? And it's a hard one because you want to start the season right, but I'm trying to tell myself that, especially when they're much lower teams and you're losing to them, you kind of just want to write it off and go, it's only a friendly.
I don't think there's huge importance on these. I've had a terrible pre-season, results-wise, at certain clubs, and then had a really, really good season. And vice versa. Do you know what I mean? I've been brilliant pre-season, and then it's not worked out in the season. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it.
I got a talk about pre-seasons. Brighton are on pre-season tour at the moment. They're in Tokyo, and one of the lads passed the pod. Showed me he was on the team bus. And they went past this establishment in Tokyo.
Samrat in Tokyo.
Tokyo.
They branched out to the. I'm sure we'll get that picture out on.
Wow.
The Samrat. It was on the way to a game.
One of the Brighton players spotted the Samrat in Tokyo and sent it off to you.
He took a picture.
That's fantastic. It's great.
So that was good. And the other one was so obviously in Cyprus where I was, we'd done the coaching, and one of the dads, James, massive fan of the pod, listens to it all the time. He pulled me on the first day and said, I've got I'm not parching here. He said, but I have got.
Did he actually say
He did say, I'm not parching here. He said, but I have got a gift for you. I want to pass the pod. So I was like, superb. And he's made this banner. And look at that.
Look at that.
What a guy.
Unreal.
Hey? So
My
James,
God, that's a real professional.
it's a serious outfit. Puddings is massive.
Puddings is massive.
Yeah.
Hashtag back stronger. Hashtag back past the pod. Notorious. Oh, God.
Yeah.
BBQ connoisseur.
Yeah.
Pictures
It's all there, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
of us all. It's
Your
you.
face next to a
yeah,
pudding.
yeah. So James, his kids Bella and Tyler, they done the course. His wife Julie. Julie asked what was BBQC.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
A connoisseur of
that's what
barbecue.
he said.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. But I know what you mean. The pre-season one, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because what was it? It was Chelsea, Wrexham, wasn't it? After a couple of minutes, all flared up.
Yeah, flared up James McLean.
Clean and
Who? I
calm.
played with James at McLean at Stoke. Yeah, he's a wind-up merchant, to be fair. But you can see what he's done. He's going in hard first kind of
First
tackle,
2
putting
minutes.
it about. And he obviously, Cole's not taken too kindly to that. Big square up. Yeah.
That's
But
the
then
thing.
they're dangerous, them pre-season friendlies, don't you think? Like, what were the ones that you feared more? Was it those ones where maybe it was done as a deal in exchange for a player, and therefore it's such a big game for that team that
Huge
they're kind of
game.
treating it like an FA Cup match?
Yeah, it's obviously all for commercial now, isn't it? All commercial rights. But that's sort of the late, isn't it? Of when we finished, that was the norm. Whereas before, you'd kind of play your local non-league team. It's kind of lubing up to get ready for the big boys. Whereas now it's straight into.
Who'd lube up for the big ones, wouldn't it?
You're saying you didn't lube up for Wrexham, and that's what's caused them a few problems.
Got to lube up for the big ones.
I mean, like Chelsea are playing Man U like straight away, aren't they? Maybe in a couple of games. Whereas before, if we was at Reading, you're playing like you did Cot Town and Basingstoke. Where
Yeah, and obviously for them, like it's a real chance to impress. Like it's a chance for them to catch the eye. You know what I mean? And obviously for you, just getting kind of your fitness and stuff like that. So yeah, it's obviously it can be difficult games. Those.
Well, were either of you ever involved in deals which involved you or your whole team having to play whatever team it was as part of that arrangement? Have I explained that right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Not me personally, but we've had players that signed for the club. So we went to.
But then isn't that mad that you as like it's your whole team have to go play there? There's one thing bringing the player back and playing him with the under-23s or something, but it seems wild that the whole first team would have to go and play.
It's bad, isn't it?
They've guaranteed a first team like of a decent standard to play in a pre-season.
Pre-season game,
happens a lot.
Like, just
Especially the foreign lads. Happens loads.
Yeah. All right, guys, just to lube everyone up for the big one.
I get what you're saying. It is a weird time, though, isn't it? So we're not in the full season yet, and so podcast-wise, we're in a bit of an odd place as well, aren't we?
Oh yeah. We don't really know what we're doing now. But you know what? Recently, I did my 11. My ultimate 11, and it wasn't about like kind of the best. You know, you get asked all the time your best players you've ever played with. It's a mixture of like an 11 that I think are going to win, or a squad that I think are going to win, but also people that I want to go on tour with as well. You know, so we had players like Graham Stack, Jimmy Walker, Stephen Bywater, David James as goalkeepers. You know, not everyone would pick them, but they're my picks because I would enjoy all of those. Obviously, Glenn Johnson. You know, we've got Jonathan Woodgate, Ledley King, Stephen Gerrard, Sean Derry. Playing alongside Luka Modric with Robert Prosinecki.
There's a balance to it.
There's a balance. There's a little bit. I think you can see what I'm getting at with Fowler, Van der Vaart involved. Lee Hendry. The people that I want to go on tour with. So what I was thinking is we could ask Sids.
Great.
Sidwell Ultimate 11.
Yeah.
And that involves, you know, afterwards you want to have a pint with them. But you want to win games.
Oh, more importantly, that's it. That's what I've based this 11 on. It's not really about ability. It's about who because anyone can be fun in the dressing room when times are good. All right. But when times are bad, that's when you'll see some personalities and some characters.
People you can count on.
Exactly.
Is that what you've gone for?
Exactly.
What are the characteristics of your squad that you're about to produce here, Sid?
Well, first and foremost, do they like a bevy?
Do they?
Right, so, are they social? So the social element is got to be up there. And that one where, like, how many dressing rooms have you been in where when you're winning, you get the ones that are flashy and they love it, but then when they go for a bit of a bad spell, then they go quiet, and they wait for others to G them up. So
Okay.
I've seen your list, and we've got a few same names, Goalkeeper, there can only be one for me. It's Graham Stack.
Okay, yeah. Is he your number one?
Oh, Stacky's number one. He is the number one.
When's he coming on this podcast?
Well, I've spoken to him. Yeah, we'll sort it out. He's actually just come out of football for the moment, and he's doing recruitment, believe it or not.
Really?
And it's going well for him, but he wants to concentrate on that. But we've got to get him on, and he will come on. He said he's going to come on.
Okay, great.
But Stacky, look, there is so many stories about.
Can you give us a story that we perhaps haven't heard, or they're all out there?
There's the ones that we discussed
No,
previously. Do you remember we went through a whole thread of?
There
was the one where he sold a ticket to the fan outside.
yeah.
Sold the ticket.
The fan ended up in the dugout.
Sold the ticket, crashed the team bus.
The ironing board one.
The ironing.
Is that out there? I remember he told it on. We did a like a chat, wasn't it?
Oh, like the Q&A
thing after a five-a-side for charity. We did like a Q&A, and he was on the panel, and he told that story about the iron. You had the iron.
I don't think I have, which makes me think it's not.
Well, the ironing board one. Well, it was an iron really, and it was a house party, and there was an iron in the corner, and he decided to flick the switch and see how long he could stick an iron on his back for, basically.
Do you mean from cold to hot?
No.
So it started.
They turned it on hot and then put it on
let
his
it
back.
heat up and then put it on his back.
Yeah. And I wasn't there, and he come in to train the next day, and there was a serious iron mark on his back, and he couldn't tell the manager because obviously it's fucking stupid, and. Yeah, he was only diving one way. He was only diving that way because he couldn't dive on that side because it was just blistered, and I was like redressing it, with the medical team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and did he? I mean, what can you say has happened there? You can't say anything really, can you?
Yeah, I mean, it become knowledge in the end, and he had to just dive every way, and the scab kept coming off. He's probably got a scar on the back, but
Oof,
no
creases though.
But that's an embarrassing injury, isn't it? That's a.
That disappointed, that one.
I thought it was very good.
That's just one of Stacky's. He should write a book. Honestly, he should write a book. There's loads. Honestly, there are so many. So he's definitely number one. Definitely number one, right. And he'd be the driving force behind everyone in that team. So another friend of the pod, Wayne Bridge, left back.
Yeah.
Can't leave Bridgie out because again, he's someone where.
Player as well.
A very, very good player, but someone where if he's playing, he's the same as when he's not involved. If he's not involved, he'll be like, right, fuck it, come on. What should we do? Should we go have a drink? Should we go and call some carnage somewhere? So he's a good personality. He's a good egg to have, Bridgie. And you know him really well. From
I mean, and I suppose you'll be like, it's a good influence kind of how you should kind of train as well, he's an animal, isn't he?
Yeah, but let's talk about the footballing side here as well, because you're doing the same as Crouchy. There's a balance here.
Yeah, of course. Good players and 100%. Yeah,
both talented players so far. Like Stacky was vastly underrated as a goalkeeper.
Oh, Bridgie was a good player. If
it wasn't for Ashley Cole, he'd have 100 caps.
Yeah,
exactly. Good player. And on the other side, I was going to get the famous Glenn Johnson, but I've had to get this player in, and we shared the dressing room with him, and it's Phil Bardsley.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay. So Bardo, So Bardo's just one of them, he's from Salford. I think his dad owns a social club, doesn't he? So he has a few bevies on a Sunday. He's just not a sound, normal fella. But do you remember his little party trick? Do you remember the chewing gum? Do you ever see him do the chewing gum? So he used to... So if you imagine you're in a nightclub and it's really loud downstairs, and he'd go, watch this. So he'd get a chewing gum, he'd chew it, and then he'd put it on his thumb, and then as he go to talk to you, he'd get his thumb and he'd put it behind your ear, and he'd stick this chewing gum behind someone's ear.
Well, maybe it's been behind my ear because I've never seen it.
So he'd do that to players, right? And I was looking, and they didn't have a clue. So he's actually talking to them, come away. He'd obviously pretend to say whatever he's going to say. And they're just carrying on. I'm looking at this person going, surely they've got to feel this chewing gum stuck behind his ear. Yeah. So then he got started getting brave, right? And then there was one time in London, we was on the Christmas do from Stoke in town, in London. And we had a big bodyguard, like bouncer, that was looking after the tables. And he's done it to him. Right, but he's done it to him twice, so he's got 2 bits of chewing gum. He's got 2 bits of chewing gum stuck behind his ear, this fella. And I am shocked. I am looking at it going, surely he knows he's got chewing gum behind his ear. He didn't know for the whole night. He didn't know. The whole night. Yeah, so Bardo left it there on this fella.
He didn't go for a third.
He didn't go for a third. He could have done easily.
You
yeah,
know what?
That was his party
with
trick.
Bardo as well, right? We had like really underrated player, I think. Like really, really talented player. I don't probably didn't get the credit he probably deserved. Like as a technically as well, you know. Like as a right back, he kind of had everything, you know. Great delivery. He could ping a ball. He could fizz it into your feet, couldn't he? And like,
well, he come from Manchester United, didn't he? Come through the ranks there, so he learned football the right way.
Like when I went to Burnley, I remember towards the end of my career, like I remember I was even more impressed with him there than I was, you know, when he was at Stoke. It was in and out really at Stoke. It was like, but Burnley was playing. He was really talented player. We used to play tech ball. He was my tech ball partner.
Do you know the table one?
Yeah. So
did you get one of these in your house? Am I right in thinking, did you order one?
Yeah.
Did you get one?
I've got one, got one for the garden. It's brilliant. They're like table tennis, obviously, like art. But we used to play in Burnley. We had one in Burnley's dressing room. And we used to play we used to play 2v2. Usually Ashley Barnes and Ashley Westwood against me and Bardo became kind of a bit of a grudge match. But we used to play prison rules. I think I've talked about this before. So prison rules was like, there are no rules, basically. So like people are on the table, do you know what I mean? You can get like, people lash out, you can just chest it onto the table. You know, but you can go around the side of the net and like bang it down, do you know what I mean? But you can get your elbows up and stuff like that. So it was aggressive. It was very Burnley, to be fair, at that time, but very technical. It was good. And it all went great until Bardo went through the table. And I had kind of made a fiberglass.
Well, he made a dive? Was it?
He jumped on the table for a prison rule kind of like block. And went through it. Jeez. I mean, it seriously wasn't good. I mean, it was, you know, he could have really seriously injured himself. They like glass, like fiberglass.
Did you win the point?
I think we won the point. Yeah. You know, obviously give him a pat on the back. He was out for 3 weeks, but he was, that was a tough one. You know what I mean, because it was horrible.
I remember seeing the picture.
Yeah. That's the thing. How does Sky Sports declare the injury as well in the brackets when they say that he's out? Can't put brackets.
Yeah, it was prison rules.
Prison tech.
But you must experience that as well, where you see a player that is out for a reason like that, but on TV it just says Achilles, something like that.
There's been loads. I mean, listen, I've known people who had, you know, serious kind of illnesses or serious issues that they don't want public knowing. Not quite often, but I have seen it where you've kind of been labelled something else.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dave Besant dropped a salad cream on his toe? Remember that broke his toe?
Hearing that, yeah.
That was a mad one.
But they didn't do brackets salad cream.
Well, it just came out that, didn't it? So had a salad cream injury. 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, where do we go from salad cream?
Right back.
So we got right back, left back.
So right back. So 2 centre halves. One of them I've gone for a good friend of mine. Come through Arsenal with me, Ben Chorley. He was a good player. Played for Wimbledon, Tranmere, Leyton Orient. He's still a good friend now. Really, really close.
Would I play against him?
Yeah, you'd play against him. Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah. Did he play at Pompey as well? Yeah, he come through Arsenal with me. He was in my year. You definitely would play against him. Yeah, definitely know. He's just one of them, like a good character as well. I remember on the stag do, we went to Marbella for my stag do, and the H10 Andalusia Plaza. I don't know if you've stayed there. It's just literally outside Port Banús. But to get there, you have to walk under the underpass.
Yeah, I think I do know that. Yeah.
And there's lights that go down. So it's one of them, like, I bet you can't hit that. And this thing's about 7 foot tall. And he did. He jumped up. He missed it the first time because he's a centre half, and we was like, give him a bit of stick. And then the next one, he got up and he made sure he got it. And he had the rest of the stag do. He had
cut on his forehead.
Yeah, he cut on his forehead. It was come right all the way down. Talking of cuts, one with Stacky as well. I remember this one, and it always comes up when I go away on holiday. We went out once to a club, and we're sitting down, and he called me, and as I went round like that, he's pinched me on the nose with the ice. You know the ice?
The ice tongs.
Yeah. They got claws on them, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these fuckers. So he's done that. As I've pulled away, right? I've got. It's like a cat. It's like a cat has scratched both sides of my nose.
Oh my
and
God.
there was blood everywhere, and I had to walk out the pit before there was a fight. And the worst thing is that I had a wedding the next day. I had a wedding with these 3 scratches on my nose.
What did you say about that?
I had to come home.
Just quickly on that one, you said you turn around, right? Yeah, this is so funny. You just turn around like a little bit, and then I'm going to poke you in the thing, right? In the cheek. Okay. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt.
But you want me
when I say turn around, right? But we're like, it's just when we were at YTS, and do you remember we were at YTS, and then there was a few players quietly to have a professional contract, so it was always up. I'm in an iron, and you go in at the end of the season, and it was like whether or not you get a pro contract or not.
Yeah,
and it was all very kind of cloak and dagger. There was some people like Ledley King would have already had it. We'd have known that. But there'd be certain other players. There's rumours that they might have already got their pro stuff like that, right? So we're on the bus. There's one Irish lad. I always remember it. One Irish lad that the lads used to, give a bit of grief, whatever. So he'd be looking the other way, and you look the other way, and like, Kev, you got pro? have you got pro? So it's just a tiny little thing where you turn and you go, have you got pro?
They're classics. The classics that never get old.
It was so childish, but like at that time, if you got someone with a you got pro, it was really like Eggy Boff, you got pro. Fantastic.
Right, other centre half. I have gone for James Collins, Big Ginge. West Ham was with him at Villa.
Very good.
He's a great lad.
He is. Yeah.
He's again. All these people have all got traits of when the chips are down. They can get you going.
He's a character you want in your like on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
Like,
so where did you have him? Was
as a
that
leader.
at Burnley?
I played against him loads of times. I've never played with him. No. No, you're thinking Nathan Collins.
I'm thinking
James
Nathan
Collins, Villa, West Ham.
Yeah. I know.
So with James, he obviously really good pals with Matthew Everington, who I played with at Stoke, and they were really close. So just kind of met him through that.
On and off the pitch, he was brilliant. I remember one session. I remember once we went out. It was a drinking session actually. We went out the night before, and then we come in the next day. And Martin O'Neill, this is at Villa. Martin O'Neill put on a friendly. No one knew. Out the blue.
Right. I bet he'd been out.
We'd all been out. So he obviously stayed a bit longer than the others. And we've come in for training the next day, thinking it's going to be training. And Peterborough just turned up for a game. So we're playing Peterborough, and Ginge is a big James Collins. He's still pissed, really badly, still pissed. So we're like, boys, we can't play this game. But we've got to protect him. We can't play, and he's gone. No, I'll be fine. So we've gone, right, let's keep the ball away from him as much as we can. Okay, listen to it. Let's keep the ball away from him for as much as we can. Get into second half. Let him hydrate. He should be good enough. He should be good enough for the second half, right? Oh my God. So we've gone, right, that's the plan. So we keep the ball away from him as much as we can. What do we do at kick-off? Nigel Weir-Coker gets the ball, passes it straight to him, right? He goes to trap it, it goes under his foot, goes to Brad Fiedel. Brad smashes the ball as far as he can up the pitch. Okay, so this was around, it must have been like, about springtime because the sun was quite low, right? So it was about a February game, something like that. And their keeper's got it, and he smashed it up in the air, and Ginger's gone, Ginger's ball, right? And he's trying to see it through the sun, and he's got his eye, and he's just missed his hand, he's just hit him straight square. He's hit him square in the face, right?
But how was the reaction then? Like obviously, like the boy, everyone must have been laughing, right? So
this is in the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
No
so
way.
and you can tell he's in a bit of a pickle. And I think he actually come off after about half an hour in the end. Like he said, I think he's maybe like said that he pulled his calf or. But yeah, he was brilliant, Ginge. Good guy on and off the pitch, one of your own. So yeah, for that moment alone, that'll stay with me forever.
So that's a solid defence, that then.
Just quickly on that, Jonathan Woodgate was the one. I remember him getting turned inside out at Wolves. I'm sure I've told this one before. And he's playing right back. That time you had Michael Kitely one wing, he had Matt Jarvis the other. Matt Jarvis was skinning him. He got a yellow card within 5 minutes. And then he looked like he went past him again. It looked like he was going to bring him down again, but he didn't. And then it kind of like kept transpiring anyway. Tony Pulis pulled him off within half an hour, and Woody ran so quick to the sideline. Said, "Fantastic decision, Gaffer." I was getting absolutely roasted. It's like fair play. Fair play.
He's a good lad.
Best decision you've ever made.
What did CP say?
Yeah, he was like, he said, I won't ever play you right back again, don't worry.
Right, wingers, midfielders. Wingers. I've gone for Ashley Young. Ashley Young was with him at Villa, and that's probably when he was at his best playing. Obviously, he went to United after that. Yeah, which he obviously carried on. But Youngie as well, someone in the dressing room, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, he's still lively. Mm. And if there was someone, you know what it's like, if you have a good result and you have a few days off, you need to send someone in, don't you, to say, go and get into the gaffer. If you get 1 day off, come on, let's try and get 2. Youngie was always that one you could at Martin O'Neill loved Ashley Young and Gabby Bonhor. So we go on boys, get into him. So
we'd always player as well, right?
Well, he's still going now. I spoke to him the other day because he wants to come on the pod. He wants to come on. So he's he wants to come on. He said pre-season's a bit difficult, but once the season starts, then he's going to come down.
You don't hear too many interviews with him, I don't think, in full. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at his experience. I love him. Obviously, he was at Watford. You know, he was incredible, and he seemed to move at the right time. And obviously, he's had an incredible career, but he's still amazing.
Still going.
Right? He's still going.
How he's kind of like almost developed himself as a fullback. You know what I mean? Like, which is amazing as well. Like.
Well, I mean, when he went to United and then he actually became captain and fullback as well, it was like, I would never have said that when I was at Villa, but testament to what he's done. And when I spoke to him the other day, so obviously he's at Everton with Daishi, and I said, mate, you're a sicko, still going at 39, sort of what a general message. He put, just had the day from hell, which I'd imagine would
Gaffer's
be...
Day, is it?
What was Gaffer's Day again?
Just the one day where all sports science goes out the window.
Oh, Daishi goes old school.
I'm doing this for me. Not for the science.
I remember you telling me this, and it must have been that day.
Yeah.
Must have been that day.
It's not nice. It's horrendous. I remember doing it in Portugal actually in the heat, and we were just up and down, and it was pretty horrific. But I think he's just kind of testing you, right, rather than it being about fitness. You know what I mean? It's like almost like a mental thing. Like when it gets hard, like what do you do? How do you react? It's kind of like he likes to look at that.
Daishi's big on character as well, isn't he? I get a sense Ashley Young has always been quite liked in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, he must be. He must look after himself properly.
Yeah, I mean, to be at United for 8 or 9 years as well. He's fit, and again, someone that's he's actually a leader. He actually knows when the chips are down, he can get the team going. He can say the right things, and
it's nice to see how they evolve. Because I remember him coming into the England setup, like. When I was in it, and he's quite quiet, like always a great lad, but quite quiet. And you see how they kind of develop as people, as men, into like being a leader, like being a captain. And you can see how that responsibility's just changed, and now he's grown, which is nice.
Yeah, well, one person didn't grow up throughout his career was Pennant, so he's on the other side. So you've played with him. I come through the Arsenal ranks with him. I know we spoke about him before, but he's just a character, isn't he? Like I will never forget the night before he made his debut when he made it against Southampton. He scored the hat trick, and he says it. He said in interviews before about him being out. I was out with actually a different group of friends, and I see him out, And he actually didn't know that he was playing the next day. It's genuine that. And when you go over to somewhere and you can tell that they've been on it all day, and I was like, that's not ending well. And I just sort of said hello and then had a few drinks and then come out. And yeah, lo and behold, the next night he's scoring a hat-trick on his debut at Highbury. It was like ridiculous. I can remember what he was wearing. He had like white trainers on, white jeans, white shirt. But Pennant's like, he's the life and soul of the party. He's lively.
But is that what leads to his character on the pitch as well, though? He was a phenomenal talent, right?
Yeah.
He was a
best crosser of the ball I've seen.
But do you think part of that comes from the way he was, like this lively nature, this sort of...
Like the thing is with Pennant, right, and I've talked about this, and I've talked about this with Jermaine, and Jermaine Genius actually obviously who grew up with him as well, and like we've talked about Pennant quite a lot, just in case, like, because lots of people kind of put him down, right, and they put him down and go, he's done this, he's done that, he's made this mistake, he's made that mistake, but if you look at where he's kind of come from and what he's kind of managed to get out of, and then to be the player that he became and the person that he became, like I think it's a credit to him. Like, there's not many people get out of that. Like what his upbringing was difficult, and then to come from where he's come from, and then playing the Champions League final, be the best player Liverpool had in that Champions League final in 2007 in Athens. To play for Arsenal, to have the career he did. And be the person that he is now. I think that's actually a success story rather than a negative story.
Yeah.
That quite a lot of people like to portray.
Well, that's because maybe some of the stories with Jermaine Pennant are the things that kind of overshadow generally when
there's
people
been times
discuss
where
the
he's made
footballing
huge
thing.
mistakes. And he's open and honest to admit that, definitely.
Yeah. And huge mistakes, but also I imagine some sort of amazing times as well, right?
Oh, some incredible times. Like Pennant's one of them as well. He was one of them when we was growing up. You could say, "Penn, do this," and it was stupid enough to do it. And it's bad enough for us goading him on, but he'd be the stupid one that would do it and get caught.
They do things to make you laugh. Like, to be fair, I always remember him. He was England, I think, under 18s or 21s or something, right? And I remember someone fizzing the ball out to him, and obviously he was brilliant. Touch and delivery was unbelievable. He just fizzed like an amazing delivery in, right on someone's head. Like goal, and then as he walked back, he just pulled his phone out of his sock and text someone, and then put it back in his sock.
I was on that trip. He was under 21s.
He just what's going on out there on the wing? Literally just played like an unbelievable ball, and then he's on the phone or something, and then put it back in his sock, and then just weapon up on him.
Yeah. And he's doing all that with his boots undone as well. Never really done his boots up. Yeah, his laces undone.
Obviously, times that. Just absolute madness, to me it seemed massively alien. But I played with Sean Derry because when he was at Notts County at 16-year-old, wasn't he? Before he got signed for Arsenal, got in the first team at 16. And I remember Des saying to me that this kid, I can't wait to see how he performs at Arsenal because he's the best player I've ever seen at Notts County. He was 16. I remember he's telling me he was making people like in training and stuff like that laughing, and like all the big older pros were just trying to go through, but they couldn't get near him.
Yeah, he was so neat. Again, he was another one we had at Watford for a period of time. It was amazing. We had players at one point. There was players like him and Lansbury and like Helgeson up front. I always remember Pennant and Helgeson.
Capoue did well down there, didn't he?
He did great. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah. He was awesome. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, is that your midfield sorted? Where are we up to?
They're two wingers. I've put Glenn Johnson in midfield.
Have you?
I put the famous in there because I couldn't put him in.
Pull some strings, mate.
Yeah. Well,
I've seen it.
Yeah, you have seen it. Scored some wonder goals, didn't he? Look, listen again. Jono is Jono. We've known him since kids. Played with him, and you can't not have him in the trenches with you, can you?
Oh no.
He's just so easygoing, so chilled, and if you're going to go out for a drink with him, put your waders on because he can go. He can go.
I'm a little bit scared of this team.
It does seem it's a very talented team.
He's talented, yeah.
But the player selection is a big old night out, isn't it?
Yeah, if we're gonna, if that's what it's based around some talent on the pitch.
It feels it's more leaning that way.
No, listen, we work hard, we play hard.
Yeah, fine.
That's what we're doing.
The motto, is it?
In the midfield, I've gone for Stilian Petrov. Actually,
yeah.
Stan was a good man. Stan,
great lad.
Yeah, he was. When I signed for Villa, he looked after me because I didn't have the best of times there. Certain stuff that went off the pitch, but and then considering with him as well, with the leukemia and the stuff that he had to overcome it and still be the man he is now, he was phenomenal. And again, someone at the right times would just pick the boys up, just organise whether it's going to be a dinner or something outside of football that needs to be done, or if something needs to be done in the dressing room, he'd lock the door and go, boys, look, fucking hell, come on. Last 6 weeks of the season, let's get your head down. So Stan was great at that side of it. So
he was good at it. Was there other players that were just good at dealing with other players, even if they weren't necessarily captain? They had a way of dealing with you, which wasn't just angry per se. It was kind of, they just knew the right things to say in that right moment. Yes, that was him. That was definitely him. He had a personality that. And I think I've said this again with other players, that when he spoke, you kind of took up and sat, you took notice. Do you know what I mean? You sat up there. And that might be if Youngie or Gabby was fucking around, they'd say, boys, fucking hell, come on. They'd go, all right.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask twice.
You could tell
there's a lot of respect.
You could tell that Villa team there, you could tell that he commanded commanded respect. Gareth Barry as well to a certain degree, because he'd come through so well, and then obviously they were good mates, and that's how I kind of met Petrov really through Gareth. Yeah, but like one of the nicest fellas you'll ever meet in life. Really good. Yeah, good fella. Yeah,
nice fella.
You got the armband in this team?
The armband. I was going to give him the armband.
Yeah, well, I thought that. Yeah,
I was looking at midfielders, and GB was. I remember my first night out in when I signed for Villa. Curtis Davies took me out. I was up there on my own, and we went up in. Is it Bushwhackers?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
we went up there till about 5 a.m.
That was Henders and Gaz used to love it in there.
Yeah, I see. Well, the first time I see GB out, and he used to drink vodka orange, didn't he? Yeah. Vodka orange was his beverage of choice, which was a strange one. But yeah, GB was close to getting in there. So yeah, and then up front, I've gone for Babby Zamora.
Yeah.
Bob wants to come on. We need to get Bob on. He's got some good stories. He's a good lad, Bob's. He's a real good lad. I first met him when I went on loan to Brighton, and then we had nights out when I was 19, and then we've been friends ever since. And
I've had a few nights out in Brighton with him when he was down there.
He's a joker.
Long time ago.
He's a joker. He's good character, really good character. I remember when I was signing for Brighton, actually, on loan from Arsenal. It was during the session, so you only do 3 months, and then you can extend it for another. So I think I'd done a month, then I wanted to extend it for 3 months. So they come right out onto the pitch while we're training to pull me off to do this to sign, and Zamo was saying, "Don't fucking sign it." Don't sign it, because he was leaving anyway. He was going to Spurs, and he knew he was leaving, but he was screaming at the top of his voice. You know like that scene, like from is it the Goonies at the end? Have you seen the film The Goonies when they find the stones? Yeah. No sign. He was fucking screaming at the top of his voice. Don't sign. Don't fucking sign. But Bob's. I was with him at Fulham as well. Then we finished our careers together at Brighton. So Bob's is a good one.
I think we've got a little message here from Babby Zamora. Yeah,
I have seen that.
Bonfire. Yeah. So you got to say why he's calling you Bonfire, please. or you, I know, but you might not want to. Would you? You would have got a fine back in the day, Bonfire. This was after our Instagram post about pubic hair in the change room.
So that's Bobby's little nickname for me, Bonfire. Bonfire bollocks.
Bonfire bollocks. Is this a ginger pube thing?
This is Bonfire. So when I first met Bob, I think I was at Brighton. When it was at Brighton, I must have been about 18, 19. Bonfire. And I've come out of the shower and obviously dried off, and he's like, "Fucking hell, looks like there's a bonfire there."
Bonfire down there.
But I was on fire, to be fair, at the time. I think I'd played 10 games and scored 6 goals. He was like, "Oh, bonfire by name, bonfire by nature." Fantastic. So, he's trying to get that. He's trying to fire this one out.
He's trying to get it back out there.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got a right to reply. You got a microphone. What was your nickname for his pubic area?
I didn't really notice. I didn't really take note, to be fair. Bob's is up top, and another friend of ours, Joe Cole.
Yeah.
Number
In the
10 role.
sausage.
Yeah, he's in the sausage because Coley's one of them. Coley's great. And you work with him now. You've played with him and you work with him now. And he's just someone that he's a social butterfly. He can go from, so when he was at Chelsea, he could go from like the African like core group to the foreign lads to the English lads. He'd just go from anywhere. So I remember actually when so before every Chelsea game, when teams do a huddle, they do it sometimes on the pitch. So Chelsea was like, look, we're not doing it on the pitch because it's a bit like show to please the crowd. We'll do one in the dressing room. So JT would do it most weeks, but sometimes he'd say, do you want to do one? So he asked Joe to do one, and Joe was like, yeah, I'll do one. So 5 minutes to 3, obviously get everyone in there, all the staff, everyone around the circle in the dressing room. So JT's gone, Coley's going to speak, lads. So Joe's got in the middle. He's like, fucking hell, boys.
I like it already.
You can imagine, like, normally it's boys, like John would go, whatever, boys, let's get out of the traps first 5 minutes. Not Coley. Fucking hell, boys. Listen, this is our manor. No one comes to our patch and fucking beats us. Proper Cockney as you like. Everyone, like the foreign lads are like...
As he walks into the middle of the...
He walks into the middle.
Is it a bit scrappy-do or something?
It was, but it worked. You know where you're thinking, everything that he's saying is actually right, but that Cockney Cockney side comes out.
Like you couldn't not like him, I don't think. And I don't know anyone that doesn't. He's great, and obviously working with TNT with him now, he's just an absolute pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Every time you're with him, he's a great lad. We get on great, and what a player! I mean, as a young player, I remember playing the under 18s. He was absolutely ridiculous. Like such a talent, and and a great person.
Yeah, yeah. So he's in the sausage. So I think that's a decent team to win games, but also we win off the pitch as well.
Well, the great thing is now we've got Crouchy's 11 and we've got your 11 Sids, and we can whack it up on social and let the people decide which one wins, really.
What I will say is...
on a number of different fronts.
What I will say is if them two teams played against each other, I'd be entertained.
Yeah.
I would be entertained.
Which is the big question
Which
now.
is the big question, isn't
it?
The Euros, fuck that.
Yeah.
You'd rather watch that, wouldn't you? We got any messages, Chris, there?
Got a message here from Alan. Says, in your prime, what level could you have played at in your opposite position, e.g. Crouchy as a centre-back?
Right, yeah, I mean, he's a centre-back. I reckon I'd get on all right.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to think of myself as a ball-playing centre-half. I know I really would. I'm picking myself up there, but what I'd struggle with is pace. Obviously, I didn't have any. So, if I played against, a prime Michael Owen, I'm getting absolutely burnt. I'd destroyed. But I'd like to think in this modern day, you know what I mean? If I played for Man City, I feel like I could get... I don't think I'd have that much to deal with. I just could get the ball and I could knock it around.
So you're saying in your prime, you do think you could play in any position?
I think I could play centre-half.
Centre-half. I could picture Crouchy playing centre-half.
Yeah.
I reckon
I could picture him now, the keeper, putting his hand on the ball in the 6-yard box, tapping it to Crouchy, and him dictating play.
Just I could pass that around, no problem. I'd obviously win the headers, win the headers. You know what I mean? Any aerial threat, no problem.
To be fair, you were a physical player.
Yeah, I could be physical, but then I think, if Haaland did knock it past me,
you're fucked.
I'm fucking proper fucked. I think I'd be treading water for ages, and then it would be. Hold on a minute, he's not a top class centre half.
What about you, Sids?
I don't really know.
But do you think, in your prime, do you think you could do any position at a Premier League standard?
No.
Could you have
Not
played
Premier
the
League.
number 9 that you were given?
No.
I think you could. At Reading, you were getting forward.
Yeah.
Kind of, almost like a false 9.
I don't know. I think if anywhere, maybe centre back,
Centre half, you could play all day, mate. As
But
I've described, what I think I could play there. I think you could definitely have played at centre half.
Yeah, but what level?
Not Premier League. Why not?
Nah.
100%.
Such a striker's mentality,
It is, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It is.
I think you get away with centre half in the Premier League. It's
Premier
a fucking
League.
joke. Honestly, it's easy.
He must have played against some shit centre halves.
It's just no respect.
I'm just gonna
You're
go.
on a good side, mate. You fucking, you know what I mean? It's an easy game, centre half.
I'm gonna go championship. I'll say centre half and championship.
Yeah. What about goalkeepers for you both then?
Another thing, isn't it? Just catch it.
But be honest.
What?
You couldn't be a Premier League goalkeeper.
No, when you see outfield players going in goal, it's
Yeah.
obviously I'm winding you up about centre halves as well. It's a yeah, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
But I think Sids could play there.
It's an interesting thought. Interesting
I'm not
thought.
sure.
I've got a message
You could easily.
from Mark here. It says, in your playing days, if you were asked to make a song for reaching a cup final, would you / the team have been up for making it? Sids, you wouldn't have been involved, I don't think, in Arsenal when they did.
No.
Because they went through a little flurry of them, didn't they? Hot Stuff and...
Yeah, when did it stop? When do you reckon it
What,
stopped? The FA, it was tradition, was it? The FA Cup final song.
I always
Was it
remember
tradition?
Man
Yeah.
United doing a sort of treble kind of time.
I quite
99
like
it
that,
was
you know.
I remember
And I
the
really didn't want to like it because it was United.
Do you mean the one that went, this could be the year?
No, the one.
I know
My
you
one
mean.
is.
Come on, you Reds. Come on, you Reds. Just
Use your bottle and use your Reds for 90 minutes. And let them know it's Man United. Here we go. I fucking hate the fact that I like that.
Have you not heard the one?
I just
Am
didn't.
going
I didn't
mad?
want to. How good was that song? That was
It
a
was
good
good,
song.
But do you remember the Man United team singing, if you believe in us, we won't betray your trust? I'm going to have to quickly find it. Give me 1 second.
You heard that?
Give me 1 second.
There's no point
I might
asking
be
you.
making
You
this up.
definitely
Well, Suggs did the Chelsea one, didn't he?
Chelsea.
Gonna make this a blue day.
What was the other one? What was the other line in that Man United song? It was.
Have a listen to this. This was called Lift It High by Man United. It's got to be.
Do you remember the Mark? Do you remember the Steve Bruce's diaries that we talked about on the pod before?
Yeah.
You heard about this? Unbelievable, isn't it? That diary, phenomenal. Now imagine just having a camcorder. Now it's like brilliant. Isn't it?
Wait,
Good access.
Have a listen to this. So this is a weird one.
Captain's
'Cause
log,
it's like
it
a
was
proper
called.
song. Manchester United, Lift It High. I thought I was going mad.
What
but
year?
1999.
Bloody hell.
Just give this a blast.
This could be the year to celebrate.
Jesper Blomqvist there, alongside Paul Scholes, Wes, David May.
Wow. So hold on, this is the treble 99 year.
Bex looks like he's in the Backstreet Boys there.
I've never heard this, but it's actually quite catchy. Yeah, not bad.
But like that's not a bad song. You know what I mean?
That's not just a jokey football one, is it?
If Liam Gallagher was singing that now, you go tune.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
where
along
that's,
the lines of that Oasis kind of vibe, isn't it?
that's a real forgotten classic there, I think. But that was the last remnants, I think, of football teams singing songs. Died after that.
I mean, there's going to be kids. My kids are going to grow up thinking that footballers don't sing songs. You know what I mean?
Which
what
is
a shame.
tragedy.
What's so many good things?
Absolute tragedy.
What was it about an FA Cup that meant that a football team had to record a song? Like, why?
But also, I played the cup final. I didn't fucking record a song. Fuming.
Yeah.
2000s, it just went.
Let's find out when that stopped. Let's find
What
out.
a shame,
Someone
eh?
can let us
Mate,
know.
I don't think there's one later than 99. You boys can't think of one, right?
No.
A football team singing a song.
No.
No.
And it'd be great to bring one back. I mean, what do we need to do? You know, this is what we always come back to at a podcast, is kind of what can we do? If there is a demand for footballers to sing songs, we're probably the vessel for it.
I think
now.
it would make me happy if it was an FA Cup final song, personally.
I think we speak to Brentford.
Yeah.
They're the kind of club that I think are open to this sort of shit.
Yeah, agreed.
You've got good ins there,
Yeah, good. Yeah, I
Crouchy.
have. I mean, and they're great to work with, Brentford. All right.
I've just I've just gone totally off piece there. I've just looked in the reflection of that picture, and I've just seen myself. And I did look what I was wearing today, and it's green and orange, and orange like it's in my tan. And I've just typed up, fuck's sake, I've just typed up Oompa Loompa Willy Wonka.
I was thinking that in my head.
You are an Oompa Loompa today, Sid.
All right, guys, let's move on from Oompa Loompas. I got Dog 11 here. What kind of a fucking pod are we? It's actually a belter. You're going to really enjoy it.
Right. Dog 11, here we go.
You've got Alison Barker in goal. Courtney Schnauzer. John Terrier. Ledley King Charles. Corky Alba. Corky Alba. Steve Sidwell.
Yeah.
Of
There we
course,
go.
always in there.
Who's a good boy?
Jared Bone.
Jared Bone.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Damien Wolf.
Yeah.
George Best Boy. Emil Husky.
Nice. That is good.
Kenny Dogleash. Collie Gunner Solskjaer. Johan Cruft. Stephen Fetcher. And of course the manager's Pep Guardiola.
Of course it is. Great.
All right, guys. Been a pleasure. We'll see you next time.